Decentralized finance, also known as DeFi, is growing super fast and becoming an ever more significant alternative financial system to the one built by banks. So there are plenty of growing opportunities to learn and make money. Now, I've personally been building software and teaching people about the crypto and Web3 space for many years now. And with the ever more significant growth in DeFi, I've recently decided to create a new daily newsletter called DeFi Daily that'll give readers a quick 2 to 3 minute daily overview of the latest in DeFi. So in the next few minutes, I'll show you what this newsletter will cover, if you'd like to subscribe to it, and I'll show you where you can find it. So yeah, in the part, a few weeks back, I did write a post about our agent Yield Seeker, who's been built to make DeFi easier to navigate by generating yield for you on autopilot. And you can watch a previous video or read this post on it. And with the creation of this new AI agent, we're more focused than ever on keeping up with the latest DeFi news and trends. And so since we're actively tracking all these data points, I decided to make a daily newsletter to share with readers what we're looking at. And I'm calling that AFOX's DeFi Daily, right? Whereas this, my main blog is called AFOX and Web3. This one is now called AFOX's DeFi Daily. This will be a separate Substack, a separate blog to the current one that my posts are based on, and will be sent daily, so 5 days of the week, Monday through to Friday. All subscribers of my standard of my main blog will be auto-subscribed to DeFi Daily, and you'll receive the first issue as soon as this post is out. If you don't want to be subscribed, you don't need to. But if you are a subscriber, then feel free to see what you think of it and give any feedback. Right, this is essentially a new product, right? And anything in its early innings will evolve over time, and feedback is very helpful to make that evolve. So before going into that, if you want to learn how to grow real lasting wealth through crypto and join a community of like-minded individuals and access over $1,900 of worth of courses entirely for free, then click the link in the description below. So the first heading, the first section of the newsletter will be this DeFi news section that will cover the latest news in DeFi for the day, right? Sharing between 5 to 10 top pieces of news. And you can click through if you want to, read that article. So this is an example of what it will look like. You'll have like DeFi Daily top, DeFi news, and these are the articles, right? And then this is a sponsor. And then next, you'll get the top coin section that will just show the top kind of numbers for the crypto market. So like what's the total market cap of the whole market? At the moment, it's 3.3 trillion, around that mark. What's the dominance of Bitcoin and ETH, and that means like what's the percentage of this 3.3 trillion, which is just the Bitcoin market cap. You see here it's 2 trillion, right? So it's like 63%. And what's the current fear and greed numbers, right? And if you're curious about fear and greed, I made a video about this and a post about this last week. And so yeah, it will show kind of the top coins in crypto in general, right? I think these are good to track as a whole, right? Next, we'll have an overview of the DeFi data of the moment, right? So how much money is floating around in DeFi? It's 116 billion at the moment, which is relatively small in comparison to the whole market cap of crypto, but this has been growing fast. What's the volume on decentralized exchanges, and what's the comparison between decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges? You can see here they're pretty close, almost 50% each. And what about perpetuals, which I've also made a previous post about and video about, so you can catch up on that afterwards. Now, this section will also include the top coins in DeFi. So you can see here like Hyperliquid is one of the top ones. Aave, Uniswap, Jupiter. This is independent of what chain they're on, right? Like Aave is on several chains, Uniswap several chains, but Jupiter is predominantly for Solana. We're just looking at top coins by market cap, right? Next, we'll look at stable coins, and we'll look at stablecoin data, like how many, how much, what's the total market cap size of stablecoins. You can see stablecoins actually more than DeFi as a whole, which is interesting. Just shows that there's already a real product market fit for stablecoins, and traditional finance is already getting involved with it, right? And you can see the dominance of USDT versus the rest. Then we'll look at the top protocols by fee and revenue. So this is by fee and this is by revenue. This essentially shows what's accruing the most amount of fees, right? So generally Tether and Circle with USDC and USDT are kind of the highest on both sides, like in terms of fees and revenue. But the other ones are interesting. For example, PancakeSwap's had a lot of fees recently, like the fees have shot up recently, and similarly their revenues have shot up. And so it's interesting to see kind of how this is changing and what is moving, and this overarching number here of total fees paid, if we could see it here, that signals growth in the sector, right? If you can imagine, with traditional companies, if you were to say, there's a growth in the revenue over all the companies in a certain segment, you'd say that segment's growing, right? And so it's the same logic here. If we're seeing that the fees and revenue are generally growing, then it's a sign that the businesses that are being built in DeFi are growing, right? And finally, we'll see some of the top pools offering yield. This is by TVL. At the moment, you see like Lido's right at the top by TVL. Its actual yield return is 2.7% on ETH. It's not a huge number, but that is on ETH, right? Whereas a comparison like Athena USDE is giving like 6% on USD on a stable coin, and Gito's liquid staking gives 7% on Sol, right? So this is it has like, it's based on TVL, so it ends up including several different currencies and several different tokens, right? Now this is all like the initial version of the newsletter. This will undoubtedly evolve, and maybe a section like this one will be changed, or maybe we'll add new sections. This is all up for debate, and feedback from users is going to be very helpful. Feedback from readers, is very helpful. So if you have any feedback, please send through. And at the end, I'm always going to link the latest posts from my my blog, the one that this video is based on. So there will be a link between the two newsletters. This daily one that's giving information on DeFi, and my weekly one that fuels these videos and the predominant content that I put out there. So as I say, this is the first version. We may introduce new sections, and yeah, I'd love to hear any feedback. And I will include a link to this new daily newsletter below in the section below, along with like I said earlier, a community of people in crypto who want to build wealth, and you can access over $1,900 worth of courses through clicking that link below. So there'll be both links, the one for community and the one for this new newsletter. And yeah, I'll catch you there.